Malcolm Brown's joining me from Washington, right on top of the news hour this evening. Malcolm, we are hearing these reports about the missing doctor who could have given the last shot to Michael Jackson. That's being reported on websites. Also about this investigation. So the mystery seems to be deepening about how Michael Jackson really came to his end.
That's right. Certainly the first part of the story, let's break it down. The first part of the story relating to the possible administration of a drug to Michael Jackson fairly soon before his death. We are getting that story. It's coming from TMZ. This is the entertainment news website, often quite salacious, but they were the first to report accurately that Michael Jackson had died. Anyway, TMZ reporting that police in Los Angeles do want to interview the doctor who reportedly, according to TMZ, administered a daily drug, Demerol, which is has an effect somewhat like morphine, we're led to understand. So police do want to talk to this doctor, and as of now, they have not been able to. So that's given rise to these reports that the doctor's gone missing. It hasn't been reported that the doctor's run off or anything, but as of now, they haven't been able to interview the doctor about this fact that could be important to the ongoing police investigation into Michael Jackson's death.
That increases the suspicion, because we've had Michael Jackson's brother also go on record to say that Michael Jackson was being pushed as much as possible beyond his own body limits to be ready to perform for the string of concerts, and he didn't want to go in for 50 concerts. So there's a money angle also behind all this, isn't there?
Oh, we're talking about big money. In fact, I mean, aside from Michael Jackson's outstanding debts, which will now be owed by his estate, which are being reported to be in the $400 million range, aside from those debts, the promotions company that had backed this comeback series of concerts in London, followed by a tour, is already in the hole for tens of millions of dollars, and it's not clear how much of their insurance may or may not pick up those losses. But it's being reported that AEG Live, which is the promotions company, had already invested $20 million in terms of production expenses. That relates to the London concert series that was due to start in July, a sold-out 50-concert series. Due to start in July. That's $20 million down already. Then there's AEG's reported refunds. Tickets are going to have to go back to those who've purchased them. That's said to be in the $85 million range. So you're already talking about tens of millions of dollars, quite aside from the debts that Michael Jackson had racked up that meant that he needed to make this comeback tour and concert series.
But it's so sad. Malcolm, I'm going to come back to you. What a sad end to a sad and blemished, controversial, but such an eventful life. Michael Jackson's story doesn't end here. Malcolm Brown, we're coming back to you in some time. The grieving has not stopped, as we said, but the controversy is there. It's already started. Michael Jackson's family and lawyer alleging that it was a greedy coterie that killed the star, raising questions. In fact, to be honest, too many questions with very few answers at this point.
This is what the world saw. Michael Jackson's dead body being carried out. But his family sees a different side to this death. Alleging Michael was killed by a greedy coterie that was over-medicating the ailing pop star and pushing him to perform ahead of his comeback concert. So what really killed Michael Jackson? Circumstances point to an overdose of anxiety-causing prescription drugs, and Jackson was reportedly taking 7 such drugs every day. For how long? No one knows. Answers could lie in Jackson's toxicology report, which when it is out could reveal all. Till then, there are questions. Too many questions. If Jackson's physical instructor did not see any sign of discomfort, why was he medicated? How did Jackson take an overdose when his doctor was in the same room? Why did it take so long for doctors to confirm Jackson's death? Was someone forcing Michael to perform in the 50 concerts against his will? Was Michael Jackson being misled by a coterie of doctors who were billing him thousands of dollars? For now, the King of Pop's legend is thriving on the controversy, even in death. Bureau Report, Times Now.
Making money out of Michael Jackson even in death. Well, Malcolm, coming back to you, you know, one of this same website you're talking about, TMZ, also reports that Michael Jackson's own family was worried about the heavy dose of morphine being given to him and, you know, is pointing fingers right now. But it also says, and I'm quoting from the website, that we are told Joe Jackson recently wanted to put Michael Jackson in a rehab facility in California for what he considered an addiction to morphine and prescription drugs. So could the addiction have caused Michael Jackson's death himself? I mean, could Michael Jackson himself have overdosed?
I guess that's possible. I mean, if Demerol is indeed a powerful painkiller, an overdose of an opiate or other powerful painkiller could do something like that. All we know at this point was that the symptoms that manifested themselves were cardiac. It was being described as cardiac arrest. So it's definitely some kind of heart condition that was what gave rise to his death, it would appear. More will emerge from the coroner's report, that autopsy taking place today over on the West Coast in LA. The toxicology results, which will be central given this allegation of prescription drug abuse or possible over-prescription, those could take days, they're saying even weeks, although it would seem likely that they're going to try and expedite this process given the level of interest. But just to build on this point about the use of drugs, we've seen a statement by Michael Jackson's former publicist, Michael Levine, issued just within the last hour or so, saying, as someone who served as Michael Jackson's publicist during the first child molestation incident, I must confess I'm not surprised by today's tragic news. Michael Levine goes on to say that a human simply cannot withstand this level of prolonged stress. Other sources in the Jackson family camp talking about enablers. It's not clear who they're referring to, but clearly some fingers are being pointed already at this early stage.
Absolutely. How sad. If indeed it is true, Malcolm, that this is a man who was being pushed into his final moments. The world did not need that 50 concerts from Michael Jackson. It just needed the performer to be alive. Malcolm Brown, thank you very much for joining me from Washington, right on top of NewsHour this evening.